We now come to the second reason why customers don't buy, that is, psychological biases. The human mind functions in some predictable ways, and this also impacts a customer's decision to buy. Experts refer to this as psychological biases. Buying and selling decisions are influenced by three psychological biases in particular. These are perceived value, loss aversion, and optimism. Once again, let's understand these with the help of some examples. One day, Joshua Bell, a world-famous violinist, disguised himself and played the violin in the Washington, D.C. metro station. A few people who walked past him gave him some money, and he ended up collecting $27 in 45 minutes. Now here's the twist in the tale. Just 2 days earlier, he had performed to a packed theater in Boston where the average ticket price was about $100. So what does this example tell us? It tells us what is important is not the value being delivered, but the perception of value delivered. In short, it means that the cost of a product or service is guided by its perceived value. If the perceived value of a product is high, customers will be willing to pay more. Now let's move on to the next bias, loss aversion. So what is loss aversion? If the customer already has a product which they are using, they won't like to give up the product for your new one. Losses are more significant to the customer than equal gains. And when planning to buy a new product, they'll first think about what they could lose if they buy the new product. We now come to the last bias, which is optimism. Before we get to it, here is some food for thought. This is a bias which affects the entrepreneur, the seller in this case, and not the consumer. Do you want to know why lottery tickets sell? Well, it is because a lot of us feel we will win. In other words, we are unrealistically optimistic about getting favorable results. And entrepreneurs fall into this category of people who can be unrealistically optimistic. They often overestimate the value of the product and their ability to make the product a success. Here is a key takeaway. While perceived value and loss aversion guide consumer decisions, optimism guides the entrepreneur's decisions. And once we understand these biases, we can take some steps to work around it. To get some further insight, read the handout titled More About Customer Reluctance. You need to go through it before coming in for the next session. In the next session, you'll apply what we covered here through the activity, What's the Alternative? So get ready for some thinking and doing. With that, let me take your leave now. Enjoy yourself and have a good day.